All right, shifting gears now, we have attorney Greg Remmenga joining us live here in the studio. And today we're actually answering a viewer question that one of you folks sent in regarding leasing. This is really interesting, Greg, because so many people lease here in the Grand Valley.
Well, if I understand the question, what they're really asking is the difference between the ways that you can sign a lease, either as the lessor, the person that's going to be moving into the premises, or potentially as a guarantee on the lease.
Okay.
If you're signing the lease as the lessor, you have the obligation of paying the rent, you have the obligation of the maintenance and care for it, not really the upkeep maintenance like the long term, but the maintenance and make sure that things don't deteriorate and make sure that you keep it clean and don't destroy things. So as the lessor, you have those responsibilities, lessee. If you're the signature on it, that's a more risky way to sign because you're not actually going to be living there, but you are guaranteeing that the person that's living there is going to meet their obligations. You're guaranteeing that the person that's going to live there is going to pay the rent. If they don't, you're going to be responsible. You're guaranteeing that if they keep the place clean, you won't be assessed the damage deposit. So you're guaranteeing that they're going to do the things to not destroy the premises. So it's a much riskier way to do things, but a lot of times the landlord wants it. For example, a college student may want the parent to sign off as the guarantor to make sure that the student does everything they're supposed to. And the other thing that we need to talk about as you're making the signatures is you might sublease it, try to lease it to somebody else. Make sure that if you sublease it, that the landlord approves that and allows you out of the lease. Sometimes when you sublease it and somebody else takes your spot in the lease, you're still responsible for them paying and the damages unless the landlord releases you out of that lease.
All right, some great information there. And really quick, I want to get to your cell phone app again. This is a really neat piece of technology here.
Well, I have a cell phone app that allows you to do all the things that you need to when you have the accident. Document it, get the other people's information, then after the accident, keep track of your expenses and those types of things. The app can be downloaded based upon the information found on my website or Facebook, or it's even on your web page on how to download that app, and I think that it's great information on what you need to do immediately upon an accident.
And there's a little button where you can click and send your stuff right to Greg. Pretty cool stuff, Greg.
And a button to click and telephone me.
Absolutely, there you go. 2 ways to contact Greg. I encourage you to download the app. Really cool piece of technology here. Thanks for joining us today. And stay with us. I've got your full forecast coming up. If you have any questions for Greg, feel free to reach out to the phone number on your screen.
If you want Greg to answer one of your legal questions, visit krextv.com, click on Live in the Studio, and submit your question on the right side of the screen. Watch Greg's segment every Wednesday on News Channel 5 at noon.